Hello, friends. Chris Corsa here, president of Thrive Today, and I want to welcome you to the Relational Skills in Real Life podcast. Friends, today's topic is one that we all relate with. How do I return to joy from my upsets? That's right. How do I get back to joy and peace from the times that I'm mad, from the times that I'm sad, or I'm hopeless, or I'm ashamed, I'm disgusted, I'm worried, right? How do we get back to joy and peace? And this is an important skill. This is one of the 19 relational skills we train to thrive. And you know what? This skill determines how well we can make our relationships work when the going gets tough. That's right. How do I keep my relationships bigger than problems? How do I learn to manage my feelings, quiet my feelings without blaming or shaming other people or spewing my upsets all over the place? I'm glad you're here, friends. This is going to be a timely topic for many of us. So, joy means we're glad to be together, right? Joy means you're the sparkle in someone else's eyes. And then we have the friend of joy, which is quieting and resting. And quieting and resting is a low energy, we take a breather, right? So quieting complements joy because joy is a high energy response that we feel. You ever watched a baby feel some joy, right? Babies get amped up, right? They smile. You hear it in their voice. You see it on their face. You see it in how they move their body. They'll kick their little feet and move their little hands, and then they will look away when they've had enough joy. Whew, right? So joy is a year one task. Infants learn this glad to be togetherness as a foundational skill the first year of life. But then as we go into the second year of life, now the brain is wired for upsetting emotions. And so now baby has to learn, how do I get back to glad to be together joy, right? And so these feelings are big and bad. They are strong. They are a monsoon of emotions. And so what returning to joy means, we're getting back to glad to be togetherness with the people from when we lost our joy. So maybe this was a conflict. Maybe I did something that hurt you or upset you, or you're not glad to be with me. What returning to joy means is it's a return to relationship. We would call it a resynchronizing, right? We are in tune again. And I liken this to, like, if you've ever played the guitar, you can hear it when that guitar is out of tune. It needs to be tuned again, right? It needs to be repaired to get that right sound. So returning to joy is just getting tuned in again from when we were out of tune. And the thing about return to joy is we're not alone. For someone is with us and they're sharing our upset with us, right? We're weeping together or we're rejoicing together. And the psalmist says that joy comes in the morning. Anger may come for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And that's returning to joy. And returning to joy does not mean like, wow, all my distress is now gone. Thank you very much. I'm doing so much better now. No, it means that I'm relational again, and then we're glad to be together again, even while I quiet my distress. And so when babies learn the return to joy skill, they are in relationship, right? I'm learning to feel my feelings, share my feelings, and quiet my feelings. So returning to joy, it kind of works through that sequence. The brain wants to know, can I feel these feelings? Do I have capacity to feel these feelings and load these feelings? Like, wow, I'm really mad right now. And then we can share our feelings with people that are able to sit with us and help us be able to stay present while we feel our feelings. Then we can quiet our feelings. And so part of learning this skill is not only practicing through stories, practicing through skills and exercises, but it's also replacing all the unhelpful, what I call imposter skills that I've learned because I didn't have the return to joy skills. And the imposter skills are what I've learned. We call those like a pseudo skill. What have I learned? If I'm not getting back to joy and peace from my shame, what do I do? Maybe we get angry, right? And so your brain has to learn to update with relational skills. And just this morning, I felt some good old fashioned shame. I went to a radio station locally and I had a radio interview. And they changed how they normally do things. And so normally they kind of set up the interview by introducing me and then sharing a little bit about Thrive Today. And then they start talking to me. So as the interview started, the host started to talk, and I was waiting for the host to be able to, you know, introduce me and introduce who I am and all of that good stuff. But instead of doing that, they went right into the discussion, and I didn't know, like, I was expected to answer. So she asked a question, and I thought she was still doing her little intro, and it was silent. And you don't want silence on the air when it's live radio. So there was a very long pause, and then they said, Chris, oh, and then I start talking. I mean, I recovered pretty fast, but there was this window of a long, awkward pause. And friends, I felt some shame. Like, I did not read that well. I did not handle that well. I felt some shame. I could just feel my face start to flush. I know my face turned very red, and my breathing became very shallow. I just wanted to like hide. I couldn't believe I did that. And my breathing like got very shallow. My shoulders were heavy, and my thoughts just started racing. Like, oh, what did I do? Why did I do that? Oh no. So I just felt this shame. Like, I messed up here. Friends, that was not fun. It was not fun. I felt that shame. But you know what? Thankfully, the shame didn't stay for very long because my hosts were very gracious. And after the time of talking on the break, I was like, I am so sorry. I thought that there would be a little more time. I did not handle that well. I'm so sorry. And I was able to apologize. And they're like, Chris, don't worry. We're sorry because we forgot to tell you. We do things different now. We do it this way. And we should have given you that heads up. So thankfully they were very tender with me and very gracious, because I felt so bad for causing that issue. So they were glad to be with me, even while they could tell I was feeling some shame, and they were kind of with me there. They didn't blame me. I didn't blame them. I didn't get angry. I went into wanting to connect with my friends when I felt some shame. And so I noticed within a short moment, the next, session went on. We started talking. We had a delightful time. Spent an hour talking about returning to joy of all things. And so it became a really good example of how do I stay me while I feel my shame and share it with my friends, because they could see I was feeling some shame, and I shared that with them. And then I could quiet. So that's returning to joy. And after that quieting and that deep breath, I could feel the shame start to dissipate. My mind became more peaceful. My shoulders relaxed. My breathing was deeper. I was glad to be with my friends. I was so thankful to be there with them. And I felt the shame start to slowly wash away. Friends, that's what returning to joy can look like. I felt the shame. I shared what I was feeling, and then I quieted it. And that returned to glad to be togetherness. And thankful I had hosts who were very gentle and tender. So I didn't blame them. I didn't accuse them. I didn't shame them back, right? I was able to feel my feelings, share my feelings, and quiet my feelings. And that's what returning to joy looks like. Your brain says, hey, I know what to do here. I know how to swim in these waters. And so, friends, we all have times during our days where we feel upsetting emotions in some way, shape, or form. We feel upset. We don't have to avoid feeling the upset or lambasting other people. We can actually feel our feelings, share our feelings, and quiet and calm our feelings. This is good news that no matter what skills your family had or didn't have, no matter what skills you learned or didn't learn, we can learn these skills, and returning to joy is possible. So friends, there's some really good resources that I'd like to recommend where you can learn some of these skills. Our track 2 of Thrive training is all about returning to joy. You join us at one of our 5-day Thrive trainings, you're going to get really good at these skills. We have some blogs from the Thriving Mamas blog, which are really good blogs about how to do this with our kids and how to navigate this. That could be really helpful. And on our website, thrivetoday.org, we have a Skill 11 page that you could learn more about the skill as well as the resources for growing glad to be togetherness.